Season 3, Episode 1. The truth doesn't want to be found, but it wants her. The interrogation room wasn't a room at all, just black glass and reflections of Ayla's own eyes staring back at her. No lights overhead. No table. No guards. Just her and the echo of everything she had survived. Her commanding officer stepped closer, hands behind his back, as if she was still a soldier under his command. You always were difficult to contain, Morgan. She didn't flinch, didn't blink. You shot at us, she whispered. He tilted his head, almost amused. We protected you from the consequences of what you accidentally witnessed. She stepped forward. You murdered my unit. A thin smile. They were collateral. You were essential. Seen, Ayla snaps. Ayla moved before she thought, years of muscle memory slamming into instinct. She grabbed him by the collar, rage vibrating through her bones. Adrian died because of you. He didn't fight back. That was worse than resistance. It meant he was in control. He leaned close, whisper soft. Adrian died because he remembered, and because you are remembering now. Scene, flashback, renewal images hit her like explosions. Burning sand, an encrypted crate, unmarked American. Drones, the woman operator shouting orders, and her commanding officer handing something to the enemy. Not an enemy uniform, an American, one. Ayla gasped, stumbling backward. You were selling classified intelligence. He smiled like a confession meant nothing. Selling? No, Morgan. Transferring. Seen, the global machine. He circled her slowly like a scientist, observing a dangerous experiment. The world doesn't run on governments anymore. It runs on whoever controls information. She clenched her jaw. You're working against your own country. He shook his head. No, I'm working above it. Seen, Nolan parallel. Back in the tunnels, Nolan placed Adrian's body against the concrete. His hands wouldn't stop shaking. He pulled his phone out, dialing emergency numbers that rang endlessly into silence. Ayla, come back, please. He looked at Adrian one last time. Tears blurred the world. I'll find the truth for you both. Scene, manipulation attempt. The woman entered, standing beside the commander like a shadow of his intent. Morgan is ready. Ayla flinched at the word ready. Not alive, not protected, not saved. Ready? Ready for what? She demanded. The woman looked into her soul. To become one of us. Ayla froze, fear and rage colliding. I would rather die. The commander smirked. That can be arranged, but death won't end what you know. Episode 1, ending hook. He leaned close to her ear, voice like poison and truth twisted together. Your war didn't start overseas, Morgan. It started the moment you came home. He turned and walked away, leaving her in the dark. Ayla whispered into the void, broken, furious, rising. If this is war, then you just made me a soldier again. Season 3, Episode 2. If they turn her into a weapon, then they become her enemy. Ayla's wrists were unbound, but she knew that meant nothing. Power didn't need restraints when it already owned the walls. The room changed colors subtly, psychological calibration, designed for PTSD reaction monitoring. Someone behind the glass was watching her pulse, her breath, her emotional temperature, like she was a study, not a survivor. Say something, a mechanical voice instructed through hidden speakers. Ayla stayed silent. Silence meant control. Silence was the one weapon they couldn't take yet. Scene, psychological tactics. A screen flickered on in front of her, glowing through the darkness. It displayed a classified video thumbnail. Operation Exodus, debrief footage date, her deployment year. Ayla's veins turned to ice. She recognized each soldier in the thumbnail her own team. A button flashed. Play, she didn't touch it. We know you remember parts, the voice coaxed, but you don't remember everything. Ayla clenched her fists. I remember enough. Scene, Adrian appears without warning. The video auto-started. Adrian's face filled the screen alive, strong eyes burning with determination. He was speaking into a mission camera, holding encrypted documents stained with dirt. If something happens to us, someone inside U.S. command made it happen. Ayla nearly collapsed. The system paused the footage. We kept this hidden from you, the voice said gently, because we needed you to believe he died early. Ayla screamed at the screen. You let him think I abandoned him. Scene, the truth poisoned the voice softened, dangerously intimate. He wasn't just your captain, he loved you, Ayla. You understand that now. She shook her head violently. You're manipulating me. The voice replied, almost a whisper. We're reminding you. Those words shattered whatever resolve she had left. Scene, Nolan searches. Meanwhile, Nolan rummaged through emergency lockers in the tunnel, desperate for medical supplies. Anything he could use to preserve Adrian's body long enough to prove wrongful death. His hands moved frantically, but his mind was already somewhere else. What if Ayla doesn't come back? The tunnel suddenly shook as a distant explosion echoed far, but not far enough. Oh God, Ayla. Scene, breaking point in the facility. Ayla clasped her head, trying to stop the flood of manipulated memory fragments the video triggered. Adrian looking back before the blast. Adrian shouting her name. Adrian running toward her. The screen flickered again. His last words before the mission cut. If this gets out, everything changes. Ayla whispered through tears. It already has. Seen, the hidden agenda. The commander appeared behind her reflection, standing inside the glass itself, like he had been watching from inside her mind. We don't want to kill you, Morgan. We want to finish what you started. Ayla turned slowly, voice breaking into fury. I never started anything. He stepped close enough for her to feel his breath. Yes, you did. The moment you survived. Episode 2, ending hook. The lights snapped off. Darkness drowned everything. Then, whispered directly behind her ear, too close to be a speaker, too soft to be anything but real. We saved your life so you could expose theirs. Ayla didn't turn. She just whispered one sentence back into the void. Then let me burn everyone responsible. Season 3, Episode 3. You do survive this long without becoming dangerous. Ayla sat alone in a reinforced chamber, no windows, no doors visible, just metallic walls that somehow pulsed with quiet electricity, like the entire room was breathing around her. Footsteps approached behind the mirrored glass. Not hurried, not cautious, confident. A female technician entered, white coat, expression cold like marble. She placed a tray on the table. Medication time. Ayla stared at the syringe placed beside a water bottle. What's in it? The technician didn't look up. Memory stabilizer. Ayla laughed under her breath, dark, tired. You mean memory control? Scene, Ayla refuses. Ayla shoved the syringe off the table. It shattered against the floor. The technician remained calm, almost rehearsed. You lived your entire military life following orders. Ayla leaned forward slowly, voice razor sharp. And now I'm done obeying them. The technician pressed a button on her wrist device. Instantly, 2 black-armored guards appeared in the doorway. We don't give choices here, Morgan. We give outcomes. Scene, Nolan's breakdown back above ground. Nolan drove through the night, no destination, just fury steering him. His knuckles were white around the wheel, heartbeat hammering against his ribs. Adrian's body was in the back seat, wrapped in a field blanket. Nolan whispered shakily, I'm not letting them bury you twice. He pulled to the side of the road, chest compressing with grief. He screamed raw, broken into the empty highway. How is any of this real? But the answer was always silence. Scene, Ayla manipulated back in the chamber. The commander entered, hands clasped behind his back like this was a military classroom. Morgan, are you prepared to cooperate? Ayla glared at him with fire in her bones. I'm prepared to destroy you. He smirked like he'd expected it. Good. Anger is motivation. Anger reveals truth. Ayla stood, approaching him until they were face to face. Show me who gave the order. The commander didn't blink. Not yet, but soon. Scene, unexpected ally. Suddenly, the facility lights flashed yellow emergency protocol, but internal only. The commander's composure cracked for the first time. That shouldn't happen. Alarms whispered quietly through hidden speakers, soft, rhythmic pulses like a heartbeat. A hidden door opened behind Ayla. The woman operative from season 2 stepped in, expression tense, steps urgent. She grabbed Ayla's arm. Move now. Ayla yanked away. I'm not leaving without answers. The woman's voice dropped to a whisper. If I don't get you out now, you'll never get answers. Episode 3, Ending Hook, the commander shouted after them, voice echoing through steel corridors. If she escapes, terminate Nolan Hayes immediately. Ayla stopped dead, rage exploding into pure violence. She turned back toward the commander with a look that could kill an army. You touch him, I'll bring this whole empire down. The woman pulled her away before she struck him. Season 3, Episode 4. If she becomes what they fear, they can't control her anymore. The emergency corridor was narrow, bare metal walls, low red lights running like blood veins toward an unknown exit. The woman operative moved with precision, checking corners like she'd done this 1,000 times before, but not with Ayla Morgan behind her. Ayla's voice cut through the silence. Why are you helping me now? The woman didn't slow. Because keeping you inside is becoming more dangerous than letting you out. Ayla frowned. Dangerous to who? The woman's expression didn't change. Everyone. Seen the warning as they turned another corner, Ayla grabbed her arm hard enough to leave marks. Nolan Hayes. They gave a kill order. The woman nodded once. They won't reach him before we do. Ayla stepped in front of her, blocking her path. Why should I trust you? The woman leaned close, whispering. Because I saved your life once already, and you didn't even know it. Ayla froze. Memory flicker, mission fire, female voice. Encrypted evacuation orders. You were there, Ayla breathed. I never left, the woman replied. Seen, Nolan's panic. Nolan sped through empty back roads, headlights slicing through darkness like fear searching for oxygen. He couldn't call the police, they'd send military. Couldn't go to a hospital, first place they de-search. Couldn't go home, he already felt watched. He looked at Adrian's body wrapped in cloth. What do I do, man? What the hell do I do? His phone buzzed. Unknown number. No name. Message. Do not go home. Nolan's blood froze. Seen the hidden facility meanwhile. Ayla and the woman descended deeper, far beneath where any legal building code would allow. The air grew colder, metal thicker, silence heavier. Ayla suddenly shoved the woman against the wall, forearm across her throat. What was I really trained for? The woman didn't resist. To survive something bigger than the war you thought you were fighting. Ayla tightened the pressure. Stop talking in circles. Finally, the woman spoke clearly. You were medical support. You were psychological extraction. Ayla let go, stunned. Extraction of what? The woman met her eyes. Trauma. You were selected. because your mind could survive it without breaking. You're proof the program works. Ayla's stomach twisted into something sick. I was never meant to save them, the woman whispered. You were meant to remember them. Scene, the chase alarms flared, now louder, urgent, real. They found us, the woman hissed. Ayla grabbed her by the vest. You said you could get me out. The woman locked eyes with her. I didn't say alive. Ayla shoved her forward, then move. Gunshots erupted behind them, metal sparking off walls. The sound of a strike team closing fast. Episode 4 ending hook. As they reached a blast door, Ayla heard something through the communications system, her commanding officer shouting orders. If Morgan escapes this facility, initiate global suppression protocol. Global suppression. Not local, not military. Something world-scaled. Ayla whispered to herself, what the hell did I just walk into? Season 3, Episode 5. You can't silence someone who has nothing left to lose. The blast doors slammed shut behind them, locking out the strike team, locking in Ayla's fate. The woman typed a rapid code into a biometric panel. The metal shuddered like it was breathing, then opened into a massive underground hangar. Black vehicles, unmarked aircraft. No flags, no symbols, just the color of secrets. Ayla's steps echoed on steel. She walked into battlefields before, but never into the engine room of the people who created them. What is this place? The woman answered with a strange calm. The future, unless you stop it. Scene, Nolan's chaos. Nolan pulled into an abandoned motel parking lot. He dragged Adrian's body out carefully, trembling from exhaustion and fear. Rain began to fall, soft at first, then violent, drenching them both. He whispered, I promised you I wouldn't leave her alone. His phone buzzed again. Second message. They're coming. Do not stay in one place. He looked around the empty lot, panic boiling up. Ayla, where are you? Scene, Ayla's rage back underground. Ayla grabbed the woman by her collar. Tell me the name behind all this. The woman didn't fight. Names change. Power doesn't. Ayla slammed her into a steel pillar. Give me something real. The woman whispered like she knew the answer could kill her. Project Origin. Ayla froze. That wasn't declassified. The woman's eyes widened. It was never classified because it was never supposed to exist. Seen who she really was, they climbed into a black aircraft, the ramp closing behind them like a coffin lid. Ayla stared at her reflection in the glossy interior. No uniform, no insignia, no team, just her. The woman sat across from her, tense, but loyal in a way Ayla couldn't explain. Why me? The woman leaned forward slowly. Because you saw what they built in the desert, and you survived. Ayla's eyes filled with heat. I survived because I lost everyone." The woman corrected her gently. "You survived because they needed to test what losing everyone does to the human mind." Ayla's stomach dropped. "Test?" The woman nodded. "They engineered your trauma." Scene, the real mission, the aircraft engines roared to life. Ayla grabbed the woman's wrist. "Where are we going?" The woman looked straight ahead, voice steady, controlled. "Somewhere you can finally see what they're afraid of." Ayla whispered, "And what's that?" The woman stared into her eyes. "You." Episode 5, Ending Hook. As the aircraft lifted off the underground runway, Ayla felt the weight of an entire world shifting beneath her feet. Her past wasn't a memory. Her trauma wasn't accidental. Her survival wasn't luck. It was programming. She clenched her fist, whispering into the storm outside, "Then I'll break the system that built me." Season 3, Episode 6. Survival was never her choice, but revenge will be. The aircraft cut through storm clouds like a blade through fabric. Ayla sat strapped to a seat, but she could feel turbulence forming inside her long before she felt it in the air. She replayed every moment of Adrian's last breath, not just losing him, but losing who she was with him. Every inhale felt like a memory trying to kill her. Scene, the woman finally breaks the woman sat across from Ayla, silent. And that silence bothered Ayla more than answers. Finally, Ayla asked, "What was your role?" The woman stared at the floor. "They assigned me as your handler." Ayla stiffened. "Handler for what?" The woman met her eyes, voice breaking for the first time. "To control the outcome of your grief." Ayla felt something inside her snap quietly, permanently. Scene, Nolan's desperation. Nolan drove through backroads with fuel almost gone, rain flooding the windshield, wipers fighting for visibility. He kept checking the rear mirror, paranoia mixing with pure terror. "Don't die on me, Ayla." His phone vibrated, now a voice message. A robotic distortion. "Nolan Hayes. We need to talk about Ayla Morgan." Nolan slammed the brakes, heart exploding. "Who are you?" Silence, then someone she was never meant to remember. Scene, Ayla's emotional collapse back in the aircraft. Ayla whispered, "So all this time my trauma was useful to them." The woman's lips trembled. "Not useful, essential." Ayla stared through the rain-covered window. "I was never their medic. I was their experiment." The woman touched her arm gently. "You were more than that." Ayla pulled away. "Not anymore." Scene, the new identity. The aircraft descended through dense fog toward a hidden coastline facility, camouflaged into rock, invisible to satellites. A voice came through the aircraft comms. "Welcome home, Proxy." Ayla's pulse spiked. What did he just call me? The woman swallowed hard. "Your real designation." Ayla stared at her rage turning into something far colder. I had a name before this. The woman nodded. You had a life before this. Ayla whispered, almost to herself. Then I'll take that life back. Episode 6, Ending Hook. The aircraft landed. Ramp opened. Storm wind blasted through the interior. A shadow stepped into view, tall, military posture, unmistakable authority. Ayla's breath caught. Her commanding officer. Alive. Waiting. He smiled. Welcome to Phase 2, Morgan. Ayla didn't hesitate. She stepped toward him with the eyes of someone who had lost enough to become unstoppable. Season 3, Episode 7. You can kill a soldier, but you can't control a ghost. The sound of the ocean crashed against the cliffs beneath the hidden base, violent waves trying to erase stone, just like someone had tried to erase Ayla. The wind hit her face as she stepped onto the landing platform, rain dripping through her hair and across her jaw like war paint. Her commanding officer waited just a few meters away. No guards, no weapons drawn, just confidence. He opened his arms slightly, almost welcoming. You survived again. Good. Ayla's voice was razor calm. You keep trying. I keep disappointing you. He smiled, not amused, but impressed. You think survival is disappointment? No, survival is validation. Scene. The truth trap. Ayla stepped onto the wet metal surface, boots echoing with tension. The woman operator stayed behind her, silent, unreadable, loyal to something Ayla still didn't understand. The commander circled her slowly. You still think you were a medic? Ayla didn't blink. I was a medic. He stopped directly in front of her eyes, inches from hers. Medics don't watch an entire unit die and walk out of the fire intact. Ayla's fingers curled into a fist. Don't you dare call what happened survival. He leaned closer. I'm calling it design. Scene. Nolan's last hope. Nolan hid the car deep inside an abandoned barn. Rain hammered the roof like artillery. He checked Adrian's pulse again, not because he believed, but because believing was all he had. He whispered, Ayla, wherever you are, please be alive. He dialed the unknown number back. No answer. Straight to silence. Another message arrived. Stop running. Start listening. Nolan threw the phone across the car, breathing like he'd been strangled by fear itself. Scene. Ayla retaliates back on the platform. Ayla's voice cracked with fury. I watched my captain die in my arms because of you. The commander's expression didn't change. Adrian knew what he signed up for. Ayla grabbed him by the vest and slammed him against the steel wall so hard it echoed across the ocean. He didn't sign up for this. A squad of black tactical soldiers drew weapons instantly, but the commander raised a hand. Stand down. She earned this. Ayla's fist shook. Give me one reason not to kill you right now. The commander leaned into her grip, almost inviting death. Because you need me alive to tell you who killed him. Scene, the new enemy Ayla slowly lowered her fist. The commander fixed his uniform and spoke calmly. You're not here for me anymore. You're here for the people I used to work for. Ayla's stomach turned. Used to, he nodded. They replaced me. She stared at him like he was lying. Who? He answered with a single word that sounded like a death sentence. Origin. Episode 7, Ending Hook. The woman behind Ayla finally spoke, voice filled with fear that didn't belong in someone like her. They're already tracking us. The commander looked out at the ocean, expression hollow. Then, we don't have much time. Phase 2 begins now, Morgan. Ayla stepped toward him, not trusting, not forgiving, just ready to burn through every lie. Then tell me where we start. Season 3, Episode 8. She was never supposed to leave the desert alive. The underground facility wasn't military, it was surgical. No flags, no ranks, just glass, steel, and silence, so engineered, it felt designed to erase identity. Ayla followed her former commanding officer past biometric doors that opened only for him. Why bring me here? He answered without turning. Because you need to see what they built in your name. Ayla's voice iced over. Nothing done in that desert was in my name. He looked back, eyes colder than the ocean's storm behind them. That's what you were meant to believe. Scene, the museum, a massive chamber opened before them. Screens mounted everywhere, recordings, mission logs, classified maps, desert coordinates, drone feeds. The woman operative typed into a console. Suddenly, Ayla's face appeared on a tactical profile. Name, Morgan, Ayla status. Active proxy, objective. Retain trauma memory. Ayla stepped closer, rage burning behind trembling hands. What the hell is a proxy? The commander spoke like a teacher correcting a child. Proxy soldiers don't fight battles. They experience the consequences of them. So we can measure long-term psychological survival. Ayla almost vomited. You used us to test trauma. He corrected her gently, like cruelty disguised as wisdom, to weaponize it. Seeing Nolan's message, Nolan sat in the rain beside his car, holding Adrian's dog tags. He pressed them against his forehead like prayer and breakdown mixed into one. His phone buzzed again. Another message. Ayla was designated Proxy 2. Adrian was Proxy 1. Look for Proxy 3. Nolan wiped the rain from his eyes, then froze. Someone else survived, seen. Ayla's breaking point back underground. Ayla spun toward the commander, voice shaking. Adrian died because you needed data. The commander didn't argue. Pain is the most measurable form of truth. Ayla lunged at him, but the woman operative intercepted, gripping Ayla's wrist hard. Not here, not yet. Ayla screamed. He trusted you. The commander finally cracked, voice filled with something almost like regret. He trusted the mission. Ayla spat the words. The mission was murder. He corrected her again. No, the mission was evolution. Seen the reveal, the woman opened another screen, hundreds of classified case files, all labeled Origin. Phase series, Proxy 1 through Proxy 21. Ayla scrolled, stopped, her stomach fell into darkness. NAMES, Adrian Ross, Proxy 1. Ayla Morgan, Proxy 2. Nolan Hayes, Proxy 3. Ayla's heartbeat collapsed. No, she grabbed the screen like she could strangle code. No, 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 no. Her voice broke into something raw and unrecognizable. He doesn't even know. The woman whispered. He was never supposed to. Ayla turned on the commander, deadly quiet now. You endangered him because of me. He answered with terrifying honesty. No, Morgan. We saved him because of you. Episode 8, ending hook. Ayla stepped backward, nausea, rage, terror colliding. If Nolan dies because of this, her voice dropped into a tone darker than revenge itself. I swear to God, I will burn your entire world down. The commander smiled like she finally said the right thing. That's exactly why we chose you. Season 3, Episode 9. Once you know what you are, you decide what you become. Ayla stared at Nolan's name glowing on the screen like a death sentence, waiting for a signature. Proxy 3. Target of surveillance. Subject of secondary extraction. Her lungs refused to work. The commander's voice slithered behind her. Your reaction proves the attachment is real. That's what makes you valuable. She spun toward him, eyes on fire. I'm not an experiment. He stepped closer, close enough she could smell the metal of weapons he wasn't carrying. No, Morgan, you're the outcome. Seen, the woman breaks. The woman operative turned away for a moment, something Ayla had never seen, hesitation. Ayla caught it. You didn't know about Nolan, did you? The woman whispered, almost ashamed. There were things even I wasn't cleared to see. Ayla's jaw tightened. He's not trained for this. The commander responded with disturbing certainty. He's surviving just fine. Ayla hissed, without even knowing why. The commander, ignorance is part of Phase 1. Ayla, and Phase 2. He smiled dark, awareness. Seen, Nolan connects dots. Nolan parked behind an old storage facility. Still raining. Still background paranoia crushing his lungs. He reopened the last message. Look for Proxy 3. He typed shakily. Who are you? A reply came instantly. Someone who failed to warn Proxy 1. Nolan froze. Proxy 1 was Adrian. Everything in him screamed to run, but he knew by now running was exactly what they predicted. Seen, Ayla's demand back in the Origin chamber. Ayla slammed her fist into the control console so hard alarms flickered. Tell me where Nalan is now. The commander didn't blink. He will come to you. Ayla's voice broke. He needs help. He corrected her with military precision. He needs purpose. Ayla leaned forward slowly. You're turning him into what you turned me into. He nodded once. Exactly. Seen betrayal inside the enemy. The woman stepped between them, voice tight, trembling with a fear Ayla had never seen in her. She's not stable enough for phase 3. The commander glared. Then she'll break. Ayla whispered through clenched teeth. No, I'll adapt. He smiled. Good, because you don't have a choice anymore. Seen Nalan's decision. Nalan finally threw his phone into the passenger seat and started the engine. If Ayla was meant to die in that desert, and she did, he exhaled a breath that didn't feel human anymore. Then maybe I shouldn't have lived either. He shifted into drive. No fear left now. Just something colder, more dangerous. The beginning of what they predicted. Episode 9. Ending hook. Ayla stared at the Proxy program list again, eyes burning with grief and fury. Proxy 1, Adrian Proxy 2, Ayla Proxy 3, Nalan Proxy 4. Classified, she whispered. Who's next? The commander stepped into her shadow, whispering against her ear. Someone you haven't remembered yet. Ayla's eyes went dark. Then I'll remember everything. Season 3, Episode 10. Every memory she recovers becomes another reason to destroy them. The storm outside battered the hidden coastal base, wind screaming against metal, as if the world itself wanted Ayla out of there. Lightning carved jagged white scars across the night sky. Inside, Ayla stared at the Proxy list like it was a murder note addressed personally to her soul. Proxy 1, Adrian Proxy 2, Morgan, Ayla Proxy 3, Hayes, Nalan Proxy 4. Classified. Ayla spoke without looking away. I want every original document, every recording, every field report. Now, the commander walked toward her like someone approaching an unstable bomb. He didn't bring guards. That meant he believed he was the only weapon necessary. Those files are sealed beyond national authority. Ayla turned slowly, voice lethal calm. So unseal them. Seen, the woman's fracture, the woman operator stepped forward, something like guilt bleeding through her eyes. Morgan, some of those events you don't actually want to remember. Ayla stared at her with fury and grief intertwined. Everything I've already survived is something I shouldn't have remembered. The woman flinched, almost in agreement. Seen Nalan's spirals. Nalan reached an abandoned communications tower, dragging Adrian's body and a bag of stolen supplies. He wrapped the dog tags around his wrist. He placed Adrian gently against a concrete wall and whispered, If Ayla can survive what you survived, maybe I can too. He stared into the storm, as if expecting someone to answer. Then behind him, a female voice, Nolan Hayes. He spun around, terrified. A woman stood in the doorway, dripping rainwater, hands up to show no weapon. Don't run. I'm here because of Ayla. Nolan's entire world froze. Seen back in Origin, Ayla approached the main terminal. The commander stood inches behind her, voice low and manipulative. If we unlock those files, you will learn what Adrian really died for. Ayla hissed, he died because of you. The commander's voice hardened. No, he died because of Phase 2. Ayla turned sharply. What the hell is Phase 2? He smiled, eyes dead cold. You. Seen, the activation, suddenly alarms cut through the facility. A different tone this time. Not intrusion. Activation. Do not exit the facility. Phase 3 in progress. Ayla's stomach dropped. What did you do? The commander didn't answer. He simply watched her reaction, like she was confirming every prediction he'd made. Seen, Nolan's visitor back inside the tower. The mysterious woman walked toward Nolan slowly. You're Proxy 3. You were never supposed to survive Iraq either. Nolan shook his head violently. I was never deployed in Iraq. She whispered, your memories disagree. Nolan staggered backward, breath stopping in his throat. What are you talking about? She stepped closer. You and Ayla were in the same operation. You were just processed differently. Nolan collapsed against the wall. No, that's impossible. The woman held out something familiar, Adrian's encrypted dog tag. He wanted you to know the truth. Episode 10, Ending Hook. Back underground, Ayla slammed her fist into the control terminal. Stop the activation. The commander whispered in her ear. Phase 3 isn't starting. He paused. It's finishing. Ayla's breath shattered. Finishing what? He stepped away like a man who had already won. The part of you you've tried to forget. Ayla's pulse dropped into something terrifying, memory. Season 3, Episode 11. Her mind was never a memory, it was a weapon. Alia felt a pressure behind her eyes, like some memory she never agreed to hold was trying to claw its way back from the dark. The facility lights flickered once, then shifted to a deep red, like the entire building was breathing through blood. The commander stepped backward, almost reverent. Phase 3 is mental activation. Ayla held her head, breath shaking. What are you doing to me? He corrected with chilling calm. We're not doing anything. You are. Seen, buried memory, suddenly images blasted through Ayla's mind, not like flashbacks, but like video footage she'd never seen. She's running through an underground camp, alarms screaming Adrian, shouting her name, Nolan, grabbing encrypted files. And behind them, someone else, another proxy. Alia gasped. Proxy 4, the commander's eyes glimmered. Now you remember. Seen Nolan's collapse back in the tower. Nolan nearly dropped the encrypted dog tag the mysterious woman handed him. Ayla and I were in the same operation. I never served with her. I'm a civilian. The woman shook her head slowly. No, Nolan. You were part of the same recovery unit, but your mind was reset before return. Nolan's voice cracked. Reset. Like PTSD treatment. The woman's answer was colder. No, like reprogramming. Nolan collapsed to his knees, breathing fast, losing control. Scene. Ayla awakens truth. Back underground, Ayla forced herself upright, vision shaking. How old was I when Project Origin started? The commander didn't hesitate. You were 15. Ayla froze. Everything inside her tore apart. No, my enlistment was voluntary. He stepped closer. Your memory of enlistment was voluntary. Alia whispered, voice broken. What did you do to me? He answered with horrifying simplicity. We prepared you to survive what no soldier could. Alia screamed. You killed US. He corrected softly. We recycled you. Scene. The woman snaps. The woman operator grabbed Ayla's shoulders. Focus. Listen to me. You're stronger because of this. Ayla shoved her away. Don't call this strength. The commander watched like everything was going exactly to plan. You were never meant to survive the desert, Morgan. You were meant to return and evolve. Alia whispered. Evolve into what? He leaned close, voice like poison wrapped in truth. Into someone who cannot be controlled anymore. Seen Nolan's decision, the mysterious woman knelt in front of Nolan. Ayla will need you, but you must decide if you want to know who you really are first. Nolan stared up through tears. If knowing saves her, then I want every truth. The woman lowered her voice. Then understand this, Proxy 1 and Proxy 2 were survival tests. Nolan wiped his face. Fast forward. What am I? She whispered. You were designed to be the last one standing. Nolan's entire world shattered. Why me? She answered. Because she couldn't do it alone. Episode 11, Ending Hook. Back underground, Ayla stared at her commander, voice trembling with rage and broken truth. You built soldiers out of trauma. The commander moved closer, speaking the deadliest truth of all. No, Morgan, we built you. Ayla whispered, and now I'll unbuild you. Season 3, Episode 12. If she was engineered to survive, what happens when she decides to attack? Ayla's pulse thundered so violently, it felt like her ribs might crack. Memories she didn't choose were flooding her, images too sharp, voices too real, emotions too engineered. She pressed her palms against her skull. They rewired my mind. The commander stepped closer. No, we shaped it. Ayla whispered through clenched teeth. What am I supposed to be? He answered in the voice of someone announcing destiny. A prototype. Scene, origin chamber. A giant holographic map unfolded around Ayla, global hotspots highlighted. Central Asia Gulf, Eastern Europe, South Pacific, every region marked. PSY, OPS/memory integration operations. Ayla stared in horror. This is an international weapon program. The commander nodded. Human survival psychology, converted into tactical advantage. Ayla turned slowly. You're not fighting terrorism, he smiled dark. We're shaping evolution. Scene, Nolan learns the impossible inside the communication tower. The mysterious woman handed Nolan a classified drive. This contains mission footage you don't remember. Nolan opened the drive. His hands trembled. Date: the night AYLAS unit was attacked. Location: unknown base. A video thumbnail. Ayla screaming, Adrian dragging Nolan, bodies everywhere and someone else. A shadow behind them. Nolan squinted. Wait, is that me? She nodded. Yes. You tried to save Ayla. Nolan stared at the screen like the world was burning around him. But I don't remember being there. The woman whispered. That's because you were never supposed to. Scene, Ayla cracks back in the origin chamber. Ayla slammed a fist into the console. You forced trauma on us. The commander remained calm. Trauma builds resilience. Ayla pushed him, hard, not like a soldier, like someone ready to kill. You murdered my entire unit. He stared straight into her. We ended them so you could begin. Ayla's voice broke. I will destroy everything you built. He smirked. That is exactly why we built you. Scene, Proxy 4. Suddenly, the global map zoomed into one identity file. Proxy 4. Active location. Unknown. Ayla's entire body froze. Who is Proxy 4? The commander answered without blinking. Someone you loved before Adrian. Ayla took a step back. Her voice shattered. Before Adrian. Memories rushed through her, flashes she never understood. Military base, hospital, someone laughing beside her, a voice saying her name. Her hands trembled uncontrollably. Tell me who it is. The commander leaned close. Remember it yourself. Ayla screamed. Tell me. Scene, Nolan hears her voice back at the communication tower. Nolan plugged in headphones, watching the mission footage. He heard something horrifically familiar. Ayla screaming a name during the attack. Not Adrian's name. A different one. Nolan whispered. Who the hell is she calling for? He paused the footage, zooming into Ayla's lips mid-shout, reading them silently. A name. He froze. That can't be real. Episode 12, ending. Hook back underground. Ayla stared at the Proxy screen, heart splitting. She whispered the name she had just remembered. Eli. Her voice collapsed. Eli never existed, the commander whispered behind her. Yes, he did, and he still does. Ayla's knees almost buckled. Eli wasn't a ghost. He was a proxy. Proxy 4. Season 3, Episode 13. Memory is the only weapon they never expected her to use. Ayla staggered backward, grabbing the console for balance, as if the ground had collapsed beneath her. Eli. A name she hadn't spoken in years, maybe ever. Her voice shook. "He's dead," the commander answered too quickly. "You were told he died." Alia looked up, eyes filled with a new kind of terror. That means he didn't. He didn't deny it. That was confirmation. Seen, the buried truth, suddenly Ayla's mind unleashed fragments like grenades detonating inside her skull. A military medical tent, someone holding her hand, a smile. She couldn't fully remember a voice promising her something before the mission, Eli's voice. "Come home with me." Ayla gasped as her knees buckled. "He loved me." The commander stared at her like she was a weapon finally activating. Love is the only attachment that makes Proxy evolution predictable. Ayla shook her head violently. No, I chose Adrian. I chose him." The commander whispered, "You only think you chose him." Seeing Nolan's realization back in the tower, Nolan watched the paused frame of Ayla's scream over and over. He slowly read her lips again. "Eli, who the hell is Eli?" The mysterious woman handed him a second drive. The label, Pre-Origin FILES. Proxy 4. Nolan hesitated. His voice barely air. Was Ayla in love with him before Adrian? She didn't answer directly. "You're asking the wrong question." Nolan whispered. "Then what's the right question?" She looked at him. "Ask what they took from her to prepare her for Adrian." Nolan felt his heart collapse. Scene. Ayla breaks back underground. Ayla screamed and slammed her fists against the console until her hands bled. "You erased him from me. You erased him." The commander watched with almost scientific detachment. "Your emotional response proves the memory was successful." Ayla turned and attacked, fury exploding into violence. She slammed him against the glass wall, her voice shredded with grief. "I was supposed to save HIM." The commander didn't fight back. "You were supposed to forget him." Ayla screamed like something inside her had finally shattered. "You took HIM so I would feel nothing for anyone," he whispered. "And yet, you still found Adrian." Seen, the weaponization, Ayla collapsed to her knees, sobbing for the first time in this entire series. Her voice broke open. "I would have died for him." The commander knelt beside her. "You did, and then we rebuilt you." Ayla lifted her head, rage and heartbreak fusing into something unrecognizable. "Where is he?" The commander stood up. "Phase 4 will show you." Ayla whispered, "Phase 4. He answered calmly, "Eli survived. He's waiting for you." Ayla's entire body froze. "Alive." He smiled dark. "Alive and evolving." Episode 13, Ending Hook. Ayla whispered one more time, barely breathing. Why didn't I remember him until now? The commander leaned close, voice chillingly gentle. Because now you're ready to love someone you already lost twice. Season 3, Episode 14. You can't erase love. You can only turn it into a weapon. Ayla stared at the commander like the air was poison around him. Blood still trickled from her knuckles, but she didn't care. Pain grounded her. Pain was the only thing she trusted. Where is Eli now? The commander paced slowly, deliberately. Not where what? Ayla's entire body went cold. What do you mean, what? He turned back, eyes dark as the ocean storm. Eli was phase 4 before Origin existed. Ayla shook her head violently. Stop speaking like he's an experiment. He didn't blink. He was your first test subject, and you were his. Scene, Nolan sees the footage. Nolan loaded the pre-origin Proxy 4 file. Video static flickered into a military field hospital, blood, sand, night vision blur. Then, a young soldier holding Ayla's face in both hands, kissing her forehead, whispering into her ear, "I'll wait for you." Nolan's heart broke, not with jealousy, but with horror. Oh my God, she loved him before Adrian. The mysterious woman whispered. Eli was everything she needed. That's why Origin took him first. Nolan looked up, devastated, to make her stronger. The woman nodded slowly, to make her empty. Scene, Ayla collapses. Back underground, Ayla leaned against a glass console, eyes burning with memories drowning her. Eli was real. He was real. The commander watched her break down like he'd been waiting for it 10 years. You were never meant to remember him until now. Ayla looked up, voice ripped open. Why now? He answered with cold serenity. Because every weapon must remember why it kills. Scene, the woman finally turns. The woman operator moved between Ayla and the commander. Stop this. She needs time. The commander didn't even glance her direction. She doesn't need time. She needs truth. Ayla grabbed the woman's arm, whispering, voice shaking like a childhood memory. Tell me he's alive. The woman hesitated. Too long. Too emotional. Ayla's face crumpled. You know where he is. The woman finally whispered. I didn't think he survived. Ayla's heart stopped. Didn't think or weren't allowed to know. The woman closed her eyes. Both. Seen the real horror, the commander activated a deep-level file. Security clearance. Origin 4, A label. Ayla Morgan, Ayla gasped. Nolan froze in his video feed. Eli's last name, Morgan. Ayla whispered. He wasn't just someone I loved. The commander nodded. He was your brother. Ayla's scream could have cracked the glass. Episode 14, ending hook. Ayla dropped to her knees, breaking into a sob so painful the room felt unworthy of hearing it. No, 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 no. The commander stepped closer, voice low and merciless. Proxy experiments don't start with strangers, Morgan. They start with blood. Ayla screamed. What did you do to HIM? The commander. We didn't erase him. We evolved him. Season 3, Episode 15, Season Finale. Love didn't break her, origin did. Ayla couldn't breathe. Her lungs burned like someone was holding them shut. Her brother, Eli, not lost, not forgotten, removed. She pressed both palms against the floor, head down, sobbing in a way she never let herself sob for Adrian, or even Nolan, or even herself. The commander watched like this was the final stage of a long experiment finally reaching conclusion. Your emotional collapse means phase 4 is successful. Ayla lifted her head, eyes red, wild, inhuman. You erased my brother. He corrected. We erased the memory, not the person. Ayla's whole body trembled. Where is he? The commander locked eyes with her. For the first time, serious. He's coming for you. Scene Nolan sees the truth. Nolan stared at the video. Eli wasn't just in the footage. Eli was saving Ayla, shielding her, dragging her away from an explosion. Ayla Morgan, Nolan whispered. He pressed pause, zoomed on Eli's face. Young, strong, protective. Nolan's voice cracked. He was her brother. The mysterious woman nodded. And her entire reason to survive that night. Nolan finally understood everything. That's why they took him from her. Scene. Ayla rises back in the origin facility. Ayla wiped blood from her knuckles and slowly stood up, not shaking now, but steady. Show me where he is. The commander tilted his head. If you leave this base, Origin will activate global protocol. Ayla stepped toward him. Let them. The commander smirked. You'll trigger a war you cannot win. Ayla's voice turned cold, dead cold. Then I'll die trying. Scene the betrayal. The woman operator grabbed Ayla's arm. Ayla, listen to me. Whatever Eli is now, he's not your brother anymore. Ayla ripped free. He'll always be my brother. The commander leaned close. He doesn't remember you, Morgan. Ayla whispered like a broken prayer. I'll make him remember. Scene arrival sirens blared across the facility. A new aircraft descended outside, heavy, loud, armored like a predator. A single figure stepped out. Black tactical armor, full mask, silent, breathing with mechanical distortion. Ayla froze. Eli, the mask turned toward her. The entire room held its breath. Scene. Eli unmasked the figure, walked into the chamber, boots echoing like death approaching. Ayla took one step toward him, like she'd been walking toward that moment her entire life. She whispered, Eli. He reached up, pulled off the mask, and Ayla's world shattered. Not dead, not lost, not forgotten, alive. But his eyes didn't know her. He looked at her like she was a stranger. Who are you? Ayla collapsed. Final ending hook. Season 3, Ayla whispered, tears falling like blood. I'm your sister. Eli stared at her with zero memory. Behind them, origin alarms blared louder, global protocol initializing. The commander whispered behind her. Now you understand, Morgan. Isla's voice shook. Understand what? The commander answered the final truth. You weren't meant to save him. He leaned close. You were meant to stop him. End of season 3.